I leave the door open for 1 second, and you leave. Hello and welcome to another episode from the Create Mod Let's Play that I have going on here. Oh, that was a bit of a weird glitch. Let's see if this thing hits me. But this is going to be a bit of a detour episode. And by that, I mean, I had some other stuff planned for today, or for right now, with the schematic cannon, but I have a bit of a long shopping list there, and I didn't think I was going to get that done very quickly, and wanted to get a video out sooner. Yeah, so imagine somewhere over that way, there's a version of me trying to fill this long shopping list and get some schematic cannon content to you. But in the meantime, we'll do this episode. I've done a little bit of digging here. You'll see that's going to be, again, the schematic cannon build is going in there. But for now, I want to do something else. And that something else happens to be villager trading, which is over there. Okay, so this is my super rough, super janky, super temporary villager trading hall. Oh, I brought Will. I was wondering why I did that. Didn't bring enough beds, but we'll get to that. You'll see I've tried to spawn-proof some of this so it's not iron golem spawnable. You'll see I've got a few villagers here to start. It's just the basics. This is theoretically able to spawn iron golems. Doesn't do a lot, but I have started trying to spawn-proof some of this area with slabs and carpets again. Early-ish game survival mode, not a huge amount of glass to make this spawn-proof, so slabs seem to have done the trick. See, yeah, most of them are masters now. I can get these. One of them has a Silk Touch iron pick, which is interesting. There you go. So I do have Silk Touch technically. These are all pretty good. But the real question here is, what does villager trading do in create mode? Sorry, create mod. And we'll get to that in a sec. Because the obvious answer is nothing, really. Create mod technically doesn't add anything to the villagers itself. There's no tinkerer or so villager, which would be nice to have, actually. So if anyone developing the create mod is listening to this, a create mod villager would be great. We can trade other stuff here. But even without that, there's one thing that does change, and that is your ability to get materials to trade. Case in point, all this flint over here. So I'm going to empty out, actually I'm going to place some of this stuff, and then I'm going to trade a bunch of flint. And you get that from the washing of gravel, which you get from cobblestone. It's very renewable in create mod, very rare or hard to get in survival, so makes getting flint that much easier, and now makes getting emeralds, I don't know what we're doing there, that much easier. You know who has actually a better trade than the toolsmith is actually the Fletcher, and I'll bring some Fletchers in later. And it changes sort of the game. Normally, some of the better ones to trade, the better items to trade are melons and pumpkins and sticks. Well, melons and pumpkins are the most automatable, the ones you can do most automatically, because wheat you can't really plant automatically that easily. But flint changes that, because you can now get flint very easily and very renewably, which you can't in vanilla survival Minecraft. The other thing, so wheat is another good one. I'm going to test out actually a bunch of these, and this is where it gets become a bit of a spreadsheet data exercise, where I'm going to look through a bunch of the trades and see which is good. Can anything topple flint here as the best create mod villager trade? I'm thinking wheat, iron maybe, so there's a lot of iron. But iron's also valuable for other things. You don't get as much from the gravel washing process, so, but you also need less of it to trade, and more villagers trade it too. So some of it's just what you have on hand. This flint is essentially garbage for my purposes. There's only so many flint and steels you can make, and I would run out of inventory space very quickly, so I'm not going to do that and run out of iron before I run out of flint. So there's going to be extra, and it's going to get traded, so I get mostly free emeralds. We interrupt this numbers exercise to go on a bit of a detour within a detour. As you may notice, we are in my create mod testing world, which is a similar copy to the one we built. I need a 5 mode, which is really weird in FreeCam. But you can see over there, actually, big spoilers. Let's not look over there. Yeah, there we go. That's the less developed version. Anyway, what I've been trying to get to is, it was going to take too long to do that numbers exercise, and I could only do so much on the spreadsheet. I will show you a little bit of what I have here. I've listed out every single villager and their trading. I've hidden a few rows for ones that obviously won't work because they are either they don't produce emeralds, they are too many, they're just less efficient, or there's no guarantee of getting them because there's too many variables at a high level. Anyway, so I've narrowed it down to 14 to 16 here, which I think are the most effective. And I don't have the resources to do all of this in survival, needless to say. But I wanted to test out this, and I think the only way to really do this is to build them in creative, test them out, and that's going to take some time. That's going to take, obviously, more than the few weeks I want to spend on an episode. And, well, I am actually curious to see how this works out. But the way things are now, flint is the best because I produce that anyway in large quantities. And I wanted to try a few others just to see if they're promising. So that's what this is all about. So I'll come out of this station that I'm in the middle of building. What the heck happened? This one's being a bit glitchy. I've been having problems with making gantries work, so I did it with a minecart. I think it's actually technically working. Yeah, you can see it's actually cutting the trees there. This is a stick farm. That was one of my more promising ones. I don't know what to do there. It's producing way too many sticks. This is Complicated Beast, is the one I just finished working on. It's theoretically supposed to be a book farm. I've produced a few books. Again, having trouble with gantries, trying to get this to work, but in theory, if you turn that off, it runs them. You have to turn it back again. Spits out some sugarcane, that goes down here. That, at the very least, produces paper, which you'll see very quickly go into here. This cow side is a bit slow, but eventually it will produce leather. I think there should be some steak on the ground here somewhere. Despawning? No. Yeah, the wheat's not going as well as wheat should be going, but let's try something. Let's say I was actually able to produce wheat in, normal-ish quantities. It goes through round robin, so it'll breed up the cows. I'm feeling some of these are, stuck with seeds. That I'm gonna have to deal with too. Work in progress. I could eventually put these in a schematic can and build them in, survival mode. So yeah, that pushes me there. And there's been a few cow leaks. How do I get out of here? There we go. But that's one of the ones I think is more promising. It's a bit complicated. You need a lot of ingredients to make books, but you only need to trade 4 of them, and you need them anyway for enchantments. So that's a very promising one. Each one of these cells or chunks here is supposed to be them, and I'm going to do a separate video with some separate analysis on that. Here are these monstrosities. What happened here? This is my lava bucket farm, which was very similar to my iron and flint farm. So this one was just see how much iron, see how much flint you get. Actually, I don't know what happened to all the flint. It's supposed to filter out a lot more flint. It's backed up. I haven't had a lot of time to fine-tune these, but you can see it's some pretty big stone generators. Gets ground up, gets, whatever you call it, washed. Very slowly. There's a lot of items here. Yeah, this is why you do the creative when the lag isn't as big a deal. But it looks like actually stuff's coming through, in theory. I don't know what that filter does. It should be denying flip. This one... Okay, this just completely sprung a leak altogether. This is supposed to all just be iron. And of course, I don't know what it's doing with this gravel. Gravel has... Oh, there's a leak. This is interesting. I mean, it's an interesting concept because lava buckets you can trade, and it has at one point produced lava buckets. It's like something's decayed over time, and that's a bit somehow... Oh, it burned! It probably burned. Because I used a wooden slab to block the water from the fan. So I want a cobblestone slab. That's what I want here. Now, why is it not letting me place it? That's the other question. If I do that, that should, yeah, that does dry it up. And if I can do this, I'm a bit more overkill on the fans there. That was part of the problem. Now, all that's better. Lava buckets should be going in the right place now. It's all getting washed. Flint goes, I don't know where. Oh yeah, flint goes in here. In this case, the flint gets burned, which you probably wouldn't want to do. Yeah, iron, sort of round robin goes there. You should eventually get enough iron to run this thing. It becomes buckets. Yeah, there. But it goes there, it gets filled from the lava farm, which is running pretty well. I think it's actually fully functional to lava farm. So anyway, this is going to be a preview for what's coming. These farms, I want to build out all of these chunks. This is going to get really laggy. I do have shutdowns for most of the functions here. Look at that go. I don't know. Well, I could watch these all night and I would never get any sleep. And would never get the rest of this done. So we will leave it at that for here. We'll quickly wrap up back at the villager farm. And we'll call the episode there. I mean, I think we've still learned something. We haven't done the full experiment yet, but I think we've learned some of the most promising trades you can do in CreateMod. You can see some of the potential here for really optimizing and driving forward those villager trades. Mending, jackpot, ding ding ding. Yeah, no, I actually have to lock that one in somehow. I don't think I have 36 emeralds to lock that in. Trade for a bookshelf, but I don't really want to do that. And back at this train. Jumping all over the place here, sorry. But I have some progress to share with this one. So instead of doing that, I can now add an action, travel to station. I now have the villager trading station, and you will see that in a second. And then, of course, back home. Let's see, this guy's schedule, there we go. Oh, ow. Okay. Oh, yeah, driver going missing is never a good thing. Try that again. And I space to approach villager trading station. You can see this has changed a bit. And this has been a bit of an expansion here. Where am I? There I am. And I brought the train over here, and I can see if it lines up. It does. I haven't actually put anything in the inventory yet, but this is all ready to pick up my villager trading materials as they come up. And everything else that comes with villager trading materials, the weapons, everything else can now load into there. And I will have one going the other way, so all the flint and other stuff can now not take the world's slowest, what's it called, conveyor belt, fill up and do all this stuff. Hey, there's more emeralds, and that is sort of the goal of this episode. And now, of course, I can probably even stick these emeralds in here, and I can now take them back to the base, or yeah, my base. And eventually I will get a new driver to take over this route, and yeah, go from there. So on that note, I would like to thank everyone for making it this far in the episode. Like, subscribe, support the channel, and do all of those great things if you so choose. If you want to see more of this kind of episode, this kind of build, I know it's getting to the point in this world where it is a bit more difficult to get episodes out because the projects are bigger, more time consuming, and of course my free time is more limited, if anything. But of course I will try. I'm having a lot of fun with this and trying to push this in create mod in new and creative directions. Villager trading being one of them, maybe more of a freight subway system, different ideas for my base. I want to try the creative stuff. If you have any suggestions, of course, let me know in the comments. And I will see you in the next episode, or some shorts, or whatever I end up doing next. Oh, and by the way, here are the emeralds. They did show up.